Hey there, Robert St-Jacques here, and we're back to answering more of your questions. The next question is, how can we help educate managers away from micromanaging, especially as we move teams towards working remotely? And, again, if you type into Google how to manage remote teams, I just did it, 738 million returned in 0.38 seconds. So there's a lot of advice out there, but if I had to narrow it down into one thing that they could focus on, and that focus would be to change their mindset and focus only on outcomes, not output, right? So micromanaging, typically looks at your daily output, your tasks, some of the things that people are working on a minute, literally minute by minute or hour by hour basis. And one thing that you could train managers to do is take a step back and say, okay, what is the end result of all these series of tasks, right? What would be a measurable or quantifiable end result, from all this work, right? So if the person has to do 2 weeks worth of work, what would be a agreed upon outcome that would be considered good? And having managers focus on outcomes, not outputs, helps minimize a lot of the micromanaging because the manager explains what they want done, what quality level is expected, what the time constraints are, and then the employee is allowed to determine how they'll get that done within the constraints given by the manager, and of course given enough time to do it. So in terms of being made clear, that's great on the manager side. There is a quid pro quo, however, on the employee side, right? Because in this case, if the manager does let you focus on outcomes, there's the incumbent responsibility on the employee to update their progress with, again, a reasonable amount of time. You don't want to get into the every hour or every day doing an update. But again, if it's a 4-week project, maybe weekly updates, and say, hey, I'm 25% through in week 1, 50% through on week 3, and then that way it creates a level of trust with the manager, and so you could focus on delivering the outcome rather than having to work on reporting some of the outputs that you've done by the hour or by the day.